The phone buzzed on the nightstand, its blue light a sharp contrast to the dark room. Sophia stirred, her sleepy mind struggling to understand the time. 2:37 a.m. Who could be texting at this crazy hour? She grabbed the phone, its cool surface a shock against her warm hand. Unlocking the screen, Sophia gasped. A message blinked back, the sender's name sending chills down her spine. Mom. Her mother had died almost a year ago, taken by a sudden illness. Sadness washed over Sophia, tears in her eyes. Shaking, she opened the message. It was one short line, simple and terrifying. Don't go tomorrow, honey, it's not safe. The words hung there, a scary reminder of the impossible. Her mother, gone but somehow still talking to her from beyond the grave. For a moment, Sophia just stared, her mind spinning. The phone slipped from her hand, landing on the blanket with a soft thud. A cold fear crept into her heart, spreading through her body. Sophia shook her head, trying to push away the fear. It was silly, impossible. She had always been a rational person, grounded in reality. Her mother was gone, her phone disconnected. The silence was deafening, a void that couldn't be filled. It had to be a mean prank, a bad joke from someone who knew about her loss. Who would be so cruel? She was a logical person. Ghosts weren't real. They were figments of imagination, stories to entertain or frighten. They were made-up stories to scare kids, tales told around campfires to elicit gasps and giggles. Yet, the message was there, a digital ghost defying all logic. It stared back at her, challenging her understanding of reality. Her planned trip to visit her aunt flashed across her mind. Maybe a change of scenery would help clear her thoughts. It was a long drive, a route she hadn't taken since she was little. But what if there was something she was missing? No, she pushed the thought away. It was just her mind playing tricks on her, a manifestation of her grief. This was just a coincidence, a trick of her sad mind. She needed to stay grounded, to hold on to her rationality. Taking a deep breath, Sophia picked up her phone. She had to confront this head-on, to find the truth. She had to find a real explanation, had to explain away the impossible. There had to be a logical reason behind this. She scrolled through her contacts looking for a name, any name that could be behind this creepy joke. Someone had to be responsible. But deep down, a small voice whispered, a voice filled with fear and a little bit of belief? Could it be possible? Could her mother really be talking to her from the other side? The thought lingered, unsettling yet strangely comforting. Sophia's finger hovered over her mother's name, her heart pounding in her chest. It felt icy, a physical sign of the fear in her heart, as if the cold air itself was a warning. This wasn't a prank. It couldn't be. The message was too personal, too precise. No one else knew about her trip, not even her aunt. She had kept it a secret from everyone. She'd wanted it to be a surprise, a joyful reunion after months apart. She remembered her last talk with her mother, a memory both precious and painful, filled with love and concern. "Promise me you'll be careful on the roads, honey," her mother had said, her voice full of worry. "Especially that old highway. It's dangerous." They'd been talking about Sophia's upcoming visit, a trip her mother had been worried about for weeks. Back then, Sophia had dismissed her mother's worries as normal mom worries, nothing more. But now, looking at the message, those words echoed with chilling clarity, resonating deep within her. "It's not safe," the message read, like a ghost of her mother's own worries, haunting her from beyond. The phone felt heavy, a real link to the impossible, grounding her in the surreal moment. Her mind, still shocked, struggled to find a normal explanation, grasping at straws. But how could she ignore a warning so specific, so much like her mother's fears? It was as if her mother was reaching out from the other side. Even though fear was eating at her, tiredness finally pulled Sophia back to sleep. The phone, still in her hand, grew warm. Her dreams were a mess of twisted metal and ghostly figures, her mother's voice calling to her from far away. Morning came too fast, the sunlight a sharp contrast to the darkness of the night. Groaning, Sophia sat up, her head hurting and her mouth dry. Last night's events came rushing back, bringing a fresh wave of fear. She looked at the phone, half expecting it to be gone, a trick of her tired mind. But it was there, the screen dark, but the message still hidden inside. A shiver went down her spine as she picked it up, the cold metal a reminder of the impossible. The morning went by in a blur. Sophia went through the motions like a robot, her mind replaying the scary message and the terrifying dreams. The uneasy feeling stayed, a knot in her stomach growing bigger with each moment. She was running late, her usual on-time self thrown off by the bad night. "Maybe this is a sign," she whispered, a little bit of hope fighting with the fear. Maybe being late was a good thing, a chance to avoid whatever danger was on that highway. Yet the logical part of her brain argued against canceling her trip. It was just a message, a prank. Her practical side told her to forget about it. Packing her bag, Sophia hesitated. Should she call her aunt, postpone the visit? The thought of disappointing her aunt, the thought of seeming crazy stopped her. Instead, she packed a few extra things, a strange feeling of dread washing over her. The radio came on as Sophia started her car, the announcer's happy voice a sharp contrast to the unease in her gut. She forced herself to listen to the traffic report, anything to block out the whispers of fear, and then she heard it. The announcer's voice, now serious, reporting a bad accident on Highway 15, the road she was supposed to be on. She gasped as he described where the accident happened, the time, 2:37 a.m., the exact time the message had arrived. Her blood turned to ice. The accident had happened exactly when she would have been driving there, if she hadn't been delayed by the message. She felt sick, the reality of her near miss hitting her hard. Shaking, Sophia pulled over, her heart pounding. She had never felt so alone, so vulnerable, as the darkness of the night seemed to close in around her. The radio announcer kept talking, not knowing how his words had just shattered her logical world. His voice was calm, almost soothing, but the message was anything but. She took out her phone and stared at the message from her mother. The words now burned into her mind, a scary reminder of a love that was stronger than death. It was as if her mother was right there with her, guiding her through the darkness. Tears filled her eyes, a mix of sadness, relief, and a strange thankfulness. She had never believed in the supernatural, but this experience was changing her perspective. Her mother, gone but not forgotten, had reached out from beyond the grave to save her. The connection they shared was unbreakable, transcending even death. The doubt that had ruled her life disappeared, replaced by a new belief in the impossible, in the power of love that lasted even after death. She felt a newfound strength, a sense of purpose she had never known before. As she drove, the world seemed different, filled with wonder and a little bit of fear. The trees seemed to whisper secrets, and the fog held mysteries she was now eager to explore. She knew without a doubt that she wasn't alone. Her mother's presence was a comforting shadow, always there, always watching over her. And as if to prove it, her phone buzzed again. The timing was uncanny, almost as if her mother knew exactly when she needed reassurance. This time, when she saw her mother's name, she didn't hesitate to open the message. Her hands were steady, her heart calm. "I'll always protect you, honey," it read. "I love you." The words were a balm to her soul, a promise that she would never be alone.